Good. Great work, Penny. I rolled a trade for profit and I rolled another trade for even. And that's about all the trading I did. I think. Nope. I did something else. I'll talk about it here in a few minutes. Hey, L. I'll talk about what else I did here in a few minutes. All right. Live on YouTube. Turn the recording back on just in case. Got the chat, got the participants. All right. Hey, everybody. Got about a minute and a half before we get started. No video, huh? I got my video going. The screen share quit. That's what happened. Should be going. I'm up here. And no charts yet. We're not started yet. Get there in a minute. It's not 5 yet. Almost 5. Got a minute left. It is June 21st, 2022. Summer solstice day. The longest daylight day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. Got 3 big topics for the day. Our standard market analysis. We're going to run down stocks that you guys request. Then we're going to talk about the time loop strategy. Anybody brand new here, please let me know. We're going to get started here in just a minute, less than a minute, 20 seconds or so. All right. Got 6 people tuned into YouTube. Not bad. Usually have about 15. Got about 50 people on Zoom. Usually have a little more than that. But I'll take just as good a care of you with less people because then I can take all the requests. All right. It is 5 o'clock. If you're new here, great. Let me know in the chat if you're new. If you're on YouTube, I'm going to try to watch the chat over here. And I've got the Zoom chat here. And if you're wondering where everybody else is, where the questions are, they're in Zoom. And the link for it is on the bottom of my other appreciation webinar videos on YouTube. But like I said, I'm going to try to watch the chat in both Zoom and YouTube and keep up with you. So bear with me. There's getting to be, we're getting closer to 100 people now. All right. So this is downtown Knoxville. These are the 2 big buildings downtown. You know, when I say the 2, it's the 2 biggest buildings that are downtown. And they both have different logos on them now, funny enough. BB&T got bought out by Truist. You may have seen their commercials. And then this was First Tennessee, and now it's called First Horizon. Oh, I guess they don't like being associated with Tennessee anymore, so whatever. Anyway, we're going to go through 3 big things today: market analysis, rundown of your favorite stocks, and then I'm going to discuss my time loop strategy. So let's pop out of this presentation for now and pop over the charts. Let's pop this up big. Let's see. I don't think I opened up. Yeah, I didn't even get to the bottom here. Mark is red, jump to new. Come on, there we go. Let's pop up that chart, open original, and this chart, open original. All right, so let's start out with the S&P 500, right? Been in a big correction all year. I mean, that's what I call it. I even use the, if you want to argue with me, no, it's a, it's a bear market now. Well, it looks like a correction, counts like a correction. I used all the data from January 3rd up through today, put it in an auto tool that has no bias either way, and it said it was an ABC correction. So that just seems to be the way it's counting. This is my current operative count on S&P 500 right here, with the B wave topping back here in March, right at the top there. And then we've been in this downtrend for April, May, June, with a little pop here in early June, late May, early June. And then this final crazy drop off the last 2 weeks have kind of sucked a lot. And then we made this bottom kind of last week. And today, if you didn't know, the market, the futures market was open for half a day yesterday till 1 p.m. I mean, opened on Sunday night, 6 p.m., stayed open till 1 p.m. yesterday, closed for like 5 hours, and then reopened at 6 o'clock again. And it's been a kind of a rally like that whole time. So that's what the big, this little gap in the crazy big bar, that was all yesterday and today. Now we're coming up into this kind of danger zone here where we topped out. Now we could see price top out overnight or into tomorrow morning, maybe, if it's going to continue higher. And then we could get a pullback all the way back down into this area where we are, or we, our lows from today. This is a 1 hour chart. So these are each candle's an hour. So these lows from the day, even down to 37.16, you can see a pullback there before the next attempt higher. Now we have a missed monthly pivot hanging out right up here around 39.90. And we have this monthly pivot for this month all the way up here at 40.83. So we went a long way down really quickly. Now just getting back that consolidation right there, be a huge move up. Now, looking at the whole big downtrend, we've got some resistance coming up here at 43.27. If we do make it up that high, and we will need to, move through that area with some gusto. I think the first resistance is going to be this low that we had from back in February. That's what that red line is. We kind of found resistance right there where I have the 4 labeled. Kind of hung out there for several days before we broke lower. So we'll probably have some resistance there. That's right around the monthly pivot also. And then we've got that 618 just above that. And this, last month's monthly pivot hanging out right there in that same general area. So that's the headwinds for moving higher. And if we decide to move lower, we've got 3,600 below us and then 3,500 below that. That's kind of there's not a whole lot of stuff built up. Now we can't pop over and look at this. Right, 3,500's got a collection of fib lines right there. And we did have this consolidation. Use my box tool we had right here. On the way up out of the COVID dip, or whatever you want to call it. Right there, we kind of consolidated for a little while in 2020. Pull it over there. We consolidated so that can provide support. And then that support box goes up to 3,500 and down to about 3,200. So wide range right in there where we can find support. And we're just hanging out just above that. So we could see a dip that took us on down there. This chart does have a lot of stuff going on here. Ads. I'm using a free version of TradingView. So, all right. So, Zoom or YouTube, it doesn't matter. I'll try to answer you both ways. I'll get the request here in just a few minutes. So, yeah, missed pivot. So it's let me jump back over to that chart briefly. So, like this weekly pivot right here, it was the weekly pivot for last week. Let me zoom up on it right there. So this little blue line is, these little blue dashed lines are weekly pivots. That's where, and if you need to know how to calculate a pivot, go over to Investopedia, look it up, pivots. It's like it's an average of the price for the prior week. So the week before that, the average range of price, it calculated out this pivot line right here. And when I say missed pivot, it means price didn't touch it. Now, if you look back here in the history, many times we touch it at least once during the week when it occurs. But sometimes we don't touch it, and that becomes a missed pivot. Now, I learned this this kind of lingo from Rob Booker, and it comes true an awful lot that we touch those pivot lines most of the time. Even this monthly pivot up here, we touched it at the beginning of the month, but we missed that weekly pivot. We had a missed weekly pivot back here that got touched eventually when price came back up right over here. So, the market doesn't tend to like to leave these pivots hanging out there for a long time. Now there's a missed one way back up here, back up around 43.50. It's been hanging out there for all, since all the way back in April. And that looks like one of the only ones on this chart in this time frame. There's some other ones that are missed on back there. So we've already hit this week's pivot right here. So anyway, I'll take requests in a few minutes. Don't get too far ahead of me. The other one I want to talk about was Apple right here. Apple has had a 3-wave pullback since January back here. We topped out just on January 3rd, just like the market. And it has gotten one big pullback, a big rally into this B wave that was late March. And then it has experienced this big pullback. Now, the third, this first move down to the A and this second move down to the C, the second move down is 1.618 times bigger than the A was. That's a really, really, really good place to find support and bounce. Now, the resistance coming up, I would expect somewhere around 160 to 170 on Apple. And if it doesn't slow down either of those, then we're probably going to go higher high. If it does find some resistance there and start curling back down, then we might see another lower low. So that's the stuff to watch out for on Apple. Either one of those levels could come into play, 160 or 170. So that's where we are for Apple. And I didn't put anything on Apple today. I just thought I would talk about it since it was an interesting pattern. All right. So broader market, big tech. Came down to the 1618 here of that last kind of swing. And it's kind of built some support here. So looking for it to turn around and rally. Now, the futures themselves, they're an echo of this prior move from all the way back at the COVID crash. This is kind of an echo right here, holding that zone. We can definitely do the same sort of move again, which I think I talked about last week. If we did that same sort of move that we did here, it would probably take us out to 2024 and up to about near 28,000. So it could be a nice big long rally if we just did what we did after that last pullback. So this pullback in the COVID and this pullback now, they're essentially the same size. If the same size move resulted, it would take us up to about 28,000. Pretty neat, huh? All right. Russell, got a little bit more bearish on Russell with this lower low situation. It was a little bit more overdone than some of the other indexes. So looking for this thing to turn around and start proving itself. And it's got some work to do. Oil, holding the resistance there at the B wave high at the 1272. And I'm still expecting a minimum down to about 100 and more better. More, the numbers work better if it gets down to the 75 to 83 zone where I've had this circle for months and months here. Move it over. So if we can pull down to that area in the next couple months, that could kick off a much bigger rally. We can see $150 to $200 oil heading into late this year, early next year. So I'm kind of expecting into the summer we see a pullback that takes us back into this area down in here, maybe hitting the target. Doesn't have to hit the target, and just be ideal if we do, and then it can really launch out of here. All right, GC just hanging out right below the trend line. Still, I mean, it's kind of got an uptrend to it slightly, just riding that down, that riding underneath the trend line, which is not good. Needs to break back above. It's going to get bullish. Otherwise, we could see a breakdown and see a return to the lows from last summer around 1620 area. All right. Crypto, Bitcoin was actually looking pretty bullish, especially on the micro time frame, like a 15-minute chart. Right here, it keeps doing that. What I look for is the roadmap pattern on the daily chart. Well, it keeps doing that on this 15-minute chart. Keeps bouncing off the roadmap line, moving up, bouncing off the roadmap line, moving up, bouncing off the roadmap line. If you can keep doing that, that's quite bullish. So good sign for crypto. I was looking at another analyst that somewhat like, I guess they get their calls right 80% of the time. They were looking for a move up into like 35,000, I think it was, by June 30th. That'd be a pretty crazy move up, but it could happen, I guess. We'll see. All right. Right now, I'm just looking for it to, break back above this consolidation it had over here, back into the, just the low to mid 20s. That could go a long way to helping get out of this crypto funk. All right, so I can start taking some requests. I see a bunch of stuff already. Let's see here. Yeah, so maybe there's another leg down. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that we have to see another leg down. I think the fact that a lot of people are bullish sets up the market to go. I mean, a lot of people are bearish. Excuse me. A lot of people are expecting this crash. The market doesn't tend to satisfy what everybody thinks is going to happen. I mean, how many times have you made a trade and the market did exactly the opposite of what you expected, what every other person you heard on the news said? I mean, it happens an awful lot, right? So, all right. So Mora is, it's down, and it's, probably going to be down for a long time. It's the miners all the way across the board. Mara may be the best positioned, but all these miners are quite underwater. You got Mara, you got Hut, you got Riot. I'm looking at all these on a 15-minute because you can see the reversal that happened. But on the daily chart, they're all down in the dumps, and there's been a lot of damage done to their credit because they've used their Bitcoin and miners as collateral. And it's going to take a while for these things to get back out of here. Now, the one trade I did today that wasn't a roll was the BITO, BITO. I bought calls, $10 calls, in the money calls. If you know me, I don't usually, if you've been following me a long time, I don't usually buy in the money anything option wise. I bought in the money calls out to January 2024. Counting on this recovery out of this bottom area here. I spent around $5 for them, maybe $6. In January 2024, takes us out to the halving event that I've talked about a couple times. Let's see, I threw this chart on here. I was talking about that we would see this crypto winter and possibly a dip out of this consolidation zone. Well, if we get this rally heading into the next halving event in January 2024, we can see this rally. This arrow right here is just a copy of these arrows before, where we saw the dip before the halving, and then the rally after the halving. So right now we're in that kind of dip zone before we kick off the rally. Now, does the rally start this week or next next month? I don't know yet. you know, it could still churn around this area, and we get one more dip out or whatever before it kicks off the rally in earnest. The rally, if it matches anything like we've seen before, it's probably going to take us into the high 100,000, you know, the 100,000, 200,000 zone. You know, I was going to say the high less than 100,000s, but you know, that should be easy. It should go up into the 100,000, 200,000 zone. And I probably have this a little ambitious up here at 2 million. It's probably more like this right here. 250,000 probably be very ambitious for the next halving. The halving after that could see prices on up in the upper hundreds of thousands, you know, close to 1 million. So, but that's going to be 2028 at some point way on out here. So, all right, circling back around to requests. So that should have covered a few of the questions here, there, and everywhere. So halving, what does halving mean? I see that question in YouTube. That's what's referred to as halving is when the rate of payout for mining a block of Bitcoin, you know, solving one of the blocks and authenticating transactions, the payout rate drops in half. That next pay rate cut occurs in roughly March 2024. It's not a firm thing. It's based on the number of blocks. It's like every 210,000 blocks that get created. And a block gets created roughly every 10 minutes, plus or minus, give or take a little bit with the difficulty of the calculations. So roughly when we get 210,000 from the last time we had a halving, which was in April 2020, you know, about 4 years from then is about how long, you know, it takes 210,000 10-minute blocks to get created. And so right now that's roughly going to be in March 2024. And so right now the payout rate for mining a block of Bitcoin is like 6.25 Bitcoins. You solve the puzzle. So it'll drop to like 3.125 Bitcoins will be the reward for payout. So right now you do the quick math, you're like, holy cow, 6 Bitcoins, you know, like $20,000 a piece. That's $120,000. Yeah. And when it was 40,000, you know, that was a lot more that you're getting paid, you know, close to $250,000 for every Bitcoin block you mined. That's why miners are kind of getting crushed right now. They borrowed a lot of money back here on this ramp to up their mining, and then they didn't get deliveries until here in the 2021, 2022, and now the price is going down, and they're not able to make quite the money that they were making when they ordered those miners. So that's how miners got upside down and why a lot of their charts look really bad. So will they survive? We'll find out. I think there's going to be some mergers and acquisitions in the crypto mining space. All right. Let's see. Amazon still has the same situation. Even despite their, you know, stock splits aren't necessarily bullish. And I fully expect them to test this zone. And where'd the zone come from? Well, it came from this consolidation it did pre-COVID in this whole zone over here. A little bit of dip out the bottom, a little bit of dip, you know, pop out the top. And if I had it all the way up to the top of those highs, it probably would be scraping the top right at the moment. So yeah, these lows are scraping in right into the support there. If we see a bigger dip in here, we could retrace all the way to the bottom. But if it can get bullish here, break back above this price high right there, not right there, turn off the magnet. That price right there, around 129, things can start turning around for Amazon. So right now, that's the zone we're working in, like between this 129-ish peak it made and, you know, this box here. If it breaks down into the box, it's likely to see a return to the low of the box around 80. So anyway, Google is just kind of floating along there. Use the magnifying glass. As I outlined last week, if it can't break through the box, it was going to go lower low, or, you know, back down to the support. That's where it is hanging out right now. It's got the stock split coming up, which may or may not be a bullish event. There's a pattern for stock splits. I really should go look it up since everybody asked me about it lately. And upper side resistance, this orange box, and then the 144 EMA above that. So they've got a split coming up if you're not aware. Tesla on the micro time frame made a higher low and made a big move up today. It was kind of exciting to see. It was up higher earlier, but 9% move up on a day when the market's up, what, 3%? Yeah, 2.4, only 2.5% on the close. That's big stuff. Now, the thing about it though, it's got a downtrend of highs and it couldn't break above that. It did set off an alarm on my computer that it was trying to push through, but it ultimately closed the day below there. It's got to break that trend line, of lows. And then it's got, several of those combined up where it's set up these trends of lower highs. It's got one up here that's got to break above. And then it's got one coming across that blue line coming across there. So this one invalid now. That one's not so big a deal at the moment. So that's what we got to work with. And then, but we do also have a trend of higher lows at this point. So it needs to break through that trend line, this trend line, the 144 EMA. But it's got a lot of headwinds going on. And that's why I bought a few shares. And they've also got a split coming up. And it's not on the calendar yet. So I guess pending shareholder approval. All right. Let's see. Gold. So ultra short gas. I don't know if I would short gas. There is a gas shortage if you're not aware. And while this could, pop a little more, I think smarter play could be looking for UNG to bounce off the 144 EMA here. And the next move up is going to be here. I've had this laid out for quite a while. We bottomed out back here. We had a 5-wave up into here, a wave 2. This is going to be a wave 3. It probably tops out over here. Then we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll pull back again. And then we'll probably make a bigger run. And this can see a run up into the hundreds going into 2024. So that's based on NG1 exclamation point. I want to change the time frame. Anyway, natural gas itself, probably looking to pop into this $15 to $20 area rolling into 2024. And my arrows are probably a little aggressive. It redraws them for me. So we've gotten this pullback down here. I see a move back up into this $15 area, then a pullback, and then a pop up into the $20 plus area. So that's what I have a feeling for on natural gas. I wouldn't be bearish on natural gas. All right, XLE. And right down to the roadmap line. Expected to find support here. If it can't find support here, if it does, like oil gets the bigger pullback, then we'll just have to figure it out. But right now, holding the roadmap line for energy. All right. F. I did buy some shares of F last week. While it could pull back a little bit more, this actually hit some kind of a key level fib wise for this whole big retrace. I posted that for members of Discord last week. I bought some shares around 11. Looking for it to go triple digits, but it may take 3 years to get there. So maybe even longer than that. So SQQQ. So that's ultra short QQQ. So it just depends, if the market continues down, this will continue higher. If the market reverses, this will drop out. So right now, if you run the fib line off the bounce, Got up here close to the 1272. Didn't quite get there. Started to drop and fade. That a lot of times that's the kind of failure you might see before it drops further. And see there, it spiked to the 1272, try it again, and then a deeper retrace. So I'd be careful playing these. These are usually only good for the day, not for a long-term hold. So read the prospectus, know what you're doing. If you got questions, you can always come to Discord and ask. All right, HAL, HAL, looks like it's on its way. I'm gonna work its way back down to their roadmap line. All right, SLV. And bullish on this long term, but right now it has not been. And this one's different than gold. The gold chart's a completely different critter. And right now, this one's kind of made a higher low here. A breakout back above. Move some of these lines off here. We do have that trend line coming across there. I'll have to break above. And now the 144 EMA is about to come into confluence with it. That was a pretty good guess on that arrow right there I drew. All right. So breaking back above here, sets it up. And then this whole big move that's been like a year in the making here of resistance coming up at the orange box, of course, around 2350. And then prior high 2650, but it could set up a run to 29 to 30-ish. And then 3250 if it really got excited. Not sure I'd expect that right now. It's got a lot of work to do. So that's SLV. Silver. All right. PYPL hit my targets on the downside. Next extension down. It's down here around 58, 59, 60. And it's not that far to get there. So still bearish on PayPal. All right. I'm not adding the MAR at all until it starts making higher highs. All right, DVN. Right down to the roadmap line. Yeah, I thought I would do it back here. Took a little bit longer. If it can, it's up to energy at this point. It's all going to be based on oil and gas. If, oil finds its bottom, all these could turn around. If gas turns around and oil keeps dropping, these will probably trend sideways a little bit, depending on their gas oil exposure. Most of these companies, they don't just mine oil or mine gas. It's a gas and oil type situation. So I'd watch the futures themselves to tell me, which way the energy stocks are likely to go. All right. I see NVDA. And we've already been 30 minutes here. It's crazy. Yeah, so looking for NVIDIA to find support right around this 151 area, make a higher low, and get bullish. Now, if it breaks down, 126 is the next fib down for now. It's kind of like Apple right here. It's reached the 1272, the first move down. Apple reached the 1618. So to be in line with the correction that Apple's had, it would have to pull on down here in this 126, 127 area. Just the facts. All right, CLF. And that's sideways. Not a whole lot happening here. Found resistance there, pulled down. A, B, C. Looks like for this third move down, we can see a move on down to 14. It is a higher low right now, but I'm not so sure that's going to hold. see EGY. Yeah, that one's holding high. Falco Energy, oil and gas production. That one hadn't pulled back like the other one, so I'd watch out. That one may suddenly pull back. It's a lot lower price though. So SPT short, yeah. I'd watch this high. If it broke above there, I'd be real cautious on a short. It does have kind of a trend, higher lows going right here. So that's kind of your triangle. If it breaks down there, good for your short. If it breaks out of here, watch out. Meta neat. Meta needs a lower low. That's my target's down here around 140. Hut $1. I only have to pull up the chart. Disney DS. I can't remember Disney DIS. That's it. Yeah, looks like it extended below my target there. Next target down is around 80. If you can't get something bullish going. CVNA. That's how low can she go? So it's already at the COVID lows here. I don't know. Could bounce there. Could make a lower low. That one's tough. I mean, that's just that wicked drop. Not much to work with there. EWG. I'll do a few more and then give you guys the opportunity for my time loop. Give you some information. That's Germany. It looks like lower lows are in its future right there. Just keeps dropping. Not much. I mean, not much to look at. Say Alcoa bounced off the roadmap, lower low. At this point, it's got that consolidation zone over there. Can return down to the lows. If it doesn't just break back out of here, then it's probably going to go down here about 44. All right. Halliburton. Yeah, jump to the Indian exchange there. Yeah, so Halliburton is hanging out at the roadmap line. Need to see a bullish bounce, but it's only got one wave down. So what you may see is a move up like this, and then a further move down. There you go. All right. See, I got Boyle. I like UNG better than Boyle. I just do. It's a better looking chart. This one has moved more because it's ultra natural gas, but it doesn't have as pretty a pattern going. Still looking for support. This is basically the roadmap line here, but UNG is my more favorite looking chart. Of course, I am long $15 calls out to January 2023 that were out of the money when I bought them. So I'm sitting in some profit. All right. In RGU. Yeah. Be careful with the leverage stuff. Works both ways. It drops fast. I mean, that's gone from 800 down to 300. So drops fast. Can also recover fast. So be careful. Be very careful. but holding the roadmap line, that can set it up for another run. What kind of run? Well, 1,000. You know, not bad to go from 400 to 1,000. And if you decide to extend, 1,300, 2,200. So I'd be careful. Like I said, cuts both ways. All right, final one, KO. It's below the roadmap line. Tried to come back up today. It's got the downtrend of the highs working there. It's got to get through. EP is kind of the same way at the downtrend of the highs. Got to get through that to get bullish. All righty. Flip back over here. Give you all this little thing here. So last week I teased a debut of a brand new strategy. I'm ready to share some of the details. Over the last few months, I've been testing out a special income type trade set up that's just on one stock. Now, by leveraging time decay, theta, as it's called, of this stock, I've placed a trade that has expired in my favor 100% of the time. Haven't had a loss yet. Now, I've been testing this since April, and there is absolutely no way that I'm guaranteeing that this 100% success rate is going to continue. Losses are eventually going to come, but I've closed 6 winners so far. Now, identifying this theta gamma sweet spot. So you may be hearing me say gamma. What the heck's gamma? Well, gamma is a rate of change of theta. Rate of change of delta, actually. And it creates this special little theta sweet spot. It's just like an anomaly. And I created this system with tons of advantages over a typical income setup. So I don't want to have to scan for stocks. I hate scanning for stocks and building scanners. So I found one ticker to trade with it. And this system will only ever trade this one ticker symbol ever. We're not searching for anything else that trades this way. I poked around in the kind of the test period and back tested a little bit of other things, and I found this one ticker that really worked out to the advantage. Not only that, it's favored tax wise. So unlike other income systems that place 1 or 2 trades a month, this setup you can put one of these on up to 3 times a week if you had the account size to support it. Now, I target full profit under 14 days, or I plan to roll out the trade and adjust it, not just keep it rolling. This is the plan. So I have a set target. I shoot for $1 profit per contract. That's about $100 for each trade, and I haven't missed it so far. Imagine targeting $100 in premium and collecting that like 9 to 12 times a month, all without having to do any kind of research. All you do is just pop open the one chart, look at it, see if it's set up the way you need it to be, and go to the options chain and place the trade. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen every time, of course. And, I'm going to have a green light, red light, yellow light system that, tells you whether today is a good day or maybe a marginal day or not so good day to put a new trade on. But that's going to be the goal in the time loop trades. And right now, I'm inviting you to become a beta tester of this new strategy. It doesn't have training. It doesn't have all the stuff that you need yet, but we're getting there. Now, there's one big reward for showing up and then putting your faith in me with an unproven, non-education strategy at this point. And that means you're a founding member, and the beta tester membership comes with permanent access. That means this is your one and only chance to get a lifetime access to this as we build it out. And we built out the opening bell alerts before, and early founding members got lifetime access where that hasn't been offered since then. And we plan that same thing here. So when we launch the public, we won't have a lifetime access available. All right. This is a standalone benefit for beta testers only. Now, you should know the folks who beta tested opening bell alerts have become some of my top students. They're in there making trades better than I do. So this is the same opportunity in this. I'm confident that time loop beta testers are going to follow that same path. Now, we'll be fully launching the beta phase of this strategy in the coming days. But right now, I have early slots for early adopters. The price to join is just $747, just like 747 Boeing. And that unlocks your permanent founding membership forever. So jump in there, join me as we build this thing out. If you're ready to join, head over to, or you can call 855-454-0816. Talk to David. They can answer a few of the questions, or you can go to jeffreytrader.com/breakthrough. That's a little bit longer there. Stephen threw it in the chat for us, and add your name to the list, and then we'll give you a call. So you can either call in now or we'll give you a call. Now, some of the FAQs that we've already gotten, are these options trades? And the answer is yes, they are definitely options trades. There's no stock involved. They are options trades from the start to the end. Now, something special about them, they are tax advantaged. If you're in the US, they're taxed at 70%, let's see, 60% long, 40% short. So it's 60% long-term gain, 40% short-term gain. That's a special little ticker. Now, can you do it with stock? The answer is no, we can't do it with stock. It's only an options trade. And what kind of trades are these? They're called credit spread trades. And they just take advantage of theta decay. So we get into the trade, we get a credit, what they call an income. And then when that theta decays a bit, the credit drops. That means we're making profit. We're shooting for $1 profit on each of the trades. We close it out and we start a new one. So what's the magic ticker symbol? Well, join it and you're going to find out. How big of an account do I need? Well, each of the trades is going to take around $2,000 to $3,000 per contract to do. So you do need at least a $5,000 account to roll with one contract. You need to be able to allocate at least $5,000 of this. If you want to do several of these a month at one time, you need to plan accordingly. All right. Any other questions? I'm not going to give away all the secret sauce here, Jim. If you're in Discord, though, you already have seen the trade, which I know you're in Discord. We're just breaking it out from what we already have. All right, link for the replay, head over to jeffreytrader.com/YouTube. And you can watch the replay from the beginning. What's my Discord? All you got to do is buy anything from me. You get a link to Discord. jeffreytrader.com/market bro. MRM is the cheapest thing. Well, that or DDT, double dip trades. By either of those, you can get right into Discord. I do reserve Discord for people that have bought something from me at this point. Here's your two options. I think DDT costs $47 a year for 12 reports, and Market Roadmap costs $49 a year, and you get a weekly watch list and a video. That's just a one-time fee, $47 or $49. Then you get access to Discord and all the other things that happen in Discord. All right, that's going to wrap it up for 30 minutes of awesome. Any other questions? Looking for a reversal in the market. That's the big thing. So jeffreytrader.com/breakthrough. Try out this new beta test opportunity, or 855-454-0816. Yeah, have a great evening, Marco. Have a great evening, Dex. Thanks for coming by. As usual, time flies. Have a great one, everybody. Good night, Gracie. Well, how many times do you trade before you make the program? Let's see. make $100 a pop. You just do one contract, so it'd be 7 trades for you. Well, 8 trades really. You could make more than $1. I target $1, but you could easily make more than $1 on the trade. So each time be $100. So you could have your money back in a month or 2, possibly. Hey, I'll make an echo trade when the market sets up. Right now, there's no trend. It's not really a downtrend. It's not an uptrend. It's not a trend. I need a trend. Chopping down, that, just getting chopped up. That's hard to trade. I'm not gonna lie. Alrighty. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.